It's the NFL on CBS Week 3. We welcome you to San Diego. Action from the AFC West today. The Kansas City Chiefs and the San Diego Chargers. And inside the broadcast booth, hi everybody, Ian Eagle along with Hall of Famer Dan Fouts. Great to be with you. San Diego, they've been known as slow starters here traditionally. They're trying to avoid that, but now they're dealing with some injuries that popped up over the course of the week, including their Pro Bowl tight end Antonio Gates. He's out today.
Yeah, and you always hear coaches talking about players taking advantage of their opportunities. That's what Norv Turner wants to happen today. With Gates shut out last week against New England, Vincent Jackson had a career day. So experienced players such as Patrick Creighton will spell Malcolm Floyd, and Steve Gregory will replace Bob Sanders. San Diego's depth is key today, but injuries have certainly helped level the playing field against the Chiefs today.
Well, Kansas City, it seems like last year was a distant memory. They won the AFC West, big surprise in the NFL through 2 weeks. No team has scored less points or given up more points in the NFL than Kansas City. The big hit, Jamaal Charles, the running back, out for the year, and they're going to need some help in that department.
Well, they like the depth at running back. Matt Castle told us yesterday they're going to run the ball. They got Thomas Jones. He'll get most of the carries today. But Dexter McCluster will be called on for the big play that was provided by Jamaal Charles. A huge loss for the Chiefs, Jamaal Charles.
So it's the Chiefs and the Chargers here in San Diego, and the weather, according to Brick Tamlin, looking very good today. 67 degrees, some cloudy skies, but very comfortable over the course of the afternoon here in Southern California. Todd Haley now in his third season as the head coach of the Chiefs. Very high expectations this year. And he said, look, we've got a target on our back. We know that things have changed. Norv Turner last week, disappointing way to end that game in New England. They had opportunities, lost 35-21, turned it over 4 times. Nick Novak will kick it off for San Diego. Kansas City has won the toss. Dexter McCluster is back deep. We are underway from Qualcomm. Division rivals going head-to-head here with McCluster taking it out. And McCluster crossing the 25-yard line. That's where Kansas City will set up after the 29-yard return. Matt Castle, excellent numbers last year. He limited the mistakes. It's been a struggle through 2 games so far.
Yeah, and he expects a lot of double coverage on Dwayne Bowe from San Diego. So the game plan calls for the Chiefs to move Bowe around with motion and shifting, employ some stack formations to help Bowe get free off the line of scrimmage and then free into the secondary.
Last week, 133 yards, no touchdowns, 3 picks in the loss to Detroit. On a handoff for Thomas Jones, and nothing there, no gain, as Donald Butler makes the play defensively. Take a look at the starting offense for Kansas City. Casey Wigman, the durable leader of that offensive line, right up the middle, and a little more pressure on them without Jamaal Charles in that backfield. Backs and receivers, it is Thomas Jones, over 10,000 career rushing yards. He's done it before, led the AFC in rushing just a few years ago as a member of the Jets. But now 33 years old on a give. It's Jones barreling ahead, and he takes it just short of the 30-yard line as Takeo Spikes makes that play, and a 4-yard gain. Defensively, San Diego plays that 3-4. Corey Liuget, the rookie out of Illinois, is out today because of an ankle injury. So Jacques Césaire, who used to start, gets the nod at defensive end. Linebackers, talented group. Takeo Spikes, the newcomer, came over from San Francisco. And in the secondary, no Bob Sanders, as Dan mentioned. Steve Gregory, now in his 6th year out of Syracuse, gets the start at safety. 3rd and 6 for Kansas City. McCluster is in. Castle, protection is there. Castle throwing underneath, and McCluster is drilled. He took a shot. Dante Hughes, the former Indianapolis Colt, former 3rd-round pick, with the stick on McCluster.
Yeah, Dante Hughes is the nickelback, and McCluster's going to get a lot of attention today from the Chargers. You can see that not only was Hughes there, but Takeo Spikes was in the neighborhood as well, preventing that first down, something the Chiefs have really struggled with, converting on 3rd downs. They're now just 6 out of 25. 5 out of 25, rather.
They are last in the NFL in that category, 3rd down conversions, and the fewest first downs around. Colquitt, high punt. Walters, fair catch called for, and he brings it in cleanly at the 24-yard line, and that's where San Diego will open its first possession after the 43-yard punt from Colquitt. Phillip Rivers. some uncharacteristic interceptions over the last couple of weeks. Numbers are still very impressive, and Rivers the leader of the San Diego offense.
Yeah, one of the most accurate passers in league history, completing 70% of his passes this season. Today he knows he'll face the challenge of not having Gates and a less than 100% Floyd, but with more throws to his backside of the backfield. And watch Vincent Jackson, he could have another big day.
So Antonio Gates in the role of spectator here today. That means Randy McMichael gets the start at tight end. Jackson and Creighton are the receivers. And on first down from the 24, handoff. Matthews running into a crowd. He carries it for a yard. Tambaha Lee and John McGraw combined to bring him down. Starting offense for San Diego, this is a strong group up front led by Chris Dielman, the four-time Pro Bowler on the left side of that offensive line. Told you about the injuries to Gates. Floyd is active today, but Patrick Creighton makes his regular season debut. Inactive the first 2 weeks because of an ankle injury. Remember, had issues last year with a broken wrist and played only 9 games, but they like what Creighton brings to the table. 3 receivers set. Second and long. Rivers throwing, and it's caught out across the 35-yard line. He hits his main man, Vincent Jackson, for an 11-yard hookup. Jackson just coming off a monster game against New England. 10 catches, 172 yards, 2 touchdowns.
And notice how he goes well beyond the marker for the first down. So when he catches the ball, he already has the first down, doesn't have to struggle for extra yardage. Taking advantage of his height advantage, 6'5" against the 5'9" Brandon Flowers.
How do you cover this guy? 6'5", 230, as you mentioned. A Pro Bowler in 2009, had the long holdout last year. On a give for Matthews, trying to turn the corner. And brought down after the gain of 2.5 along the sideline by Belcher. Defensively for Kansas City, last week the 48-3 loss to Detroit. They've got Kelly Gregg. They brought him over from Baltimore, trying to get a little more physical on that side of the ball. Linebacking group, Derek Johnson, playmaker for this defense, but he even admitted, look, the veterans are probably trying to do a little bit more because of the struggles. Brandon Carr will have the assignment throughout the day of Vincent Jackson. Carr at 6 foot, pretty good size at corner. Rivers throws and makes the connection to Randy McMichael for a first down. 8 yards on the pass play and a new set of downs for San Diego to work with.
That's kind of what we talked about in the open eye, and as a guy taking advantage of his opportunity, McMichael, a 10-year veteran, this is his 5th catch of the year. But watch his sharp route against the linebacker, and McGraw playing too deep. Easy completion and another first down as McMichael as well as Jackson ran their routes beyond the sticks. Then they make the catch. They're going to make a first down.
And McMichael put up good numbers when he was a member of the Miami Dolphins, a 4th-round pick back in 2002. Then signed on with St. Louis, eventually hooking on with San Diego last year. Ryan Matthews, and nothing there. Tyson Jackson, first man there defensively. You talk to anybody associated with San Diego, they tell you that Ryan Matthews has been much improved. And our Fouts focus is on the San Diego running attack today.
Well, Norv Turner wants to cut out the turnovers that cost the Chargers last season. Matthews has got the message. Let's compare the 2 years. First contact, notice how high he's running and how he falls backward after the tackle. Now he runs lower, forward, and falls forward, and after fumbling 3 times last season, has yet to turn the ball over this year, and I'm sure that is an announcer's jinx.
That's the kind of power that you bring to the table?
I hope not.
Vincent Brown is in, making his NFL debut out of San Diego State. Little dump off. It's Matthews, and he is spun down at the 45-yard line of Kansas City by Belcher, the inside linebacker. 5 yards on the catch and run for Matthews.
And that's not unusual for San Diego this season because of the effect that a Vincent Jackson and a Malcolm Floyd has on the secondary. They're so concerned with the deep, high passes that Rivers is so good at throwing to those two guys that the Chargers are seeing a lot more zone this year. So Tolbert comes into the game with 17 receptions. For Matthews, that's his 11th on the year.
You know, we asked Philip Rivers about Matthews. He said he was always good for 1 drop per practice last year, and that just has not been the case this year in practice. So the trust level is much higher from Philip Rivers to Matthew catching the football. On third down, Rivers throws in a crowd. Coming back for it is Jackson, and a first down for San Diego. 9-yard hookup.
And very similar to the first pass completion of the day against the smaller Brandon Flowers. This ball thrown low, but because of the big body, look how he screens Flowers off, makes the catch, goes low. Rivers now perfect start for him, 4 for 4 for 34 yards.
And we should see this quite a bit today. Tyrone Green is in as an extra offensive lineman. So Green, who is a backup on that right side, with a big formation here with McMichael and Corey Sperry, who's the third tight end on this roster. Handoff, it's Matthews up the gut. And cut down low by Glenn Dorsey. It's a 2-yard pickup. How about the day that Vincent Jackson and Phillip Rivers were able to put together against New England last week?
Well, and you watch where Rivers could throw the ball to the 6'5 Jackson. He likes to get it up above his shoulders, and he said that there's just no way, as you commented on, Ian, that how do you guard the guy at 6'5", and the ability to catch the ball away from his body, especially with one hand. That's not bad.
And Norv Turner told us, look, he's really got it going right now. He's so good on the outside. We're also using him on the inside, and teams just have a tough time finding him and covering him in the way that we design things. Down the sideline, and it's broken up. Justin Houston was turned around. Jacob Hester, the hybrid fullback slash tailback, was the intended receiver, and the first incompletion of the day for Phillip Rivers.
Well, they're going for the big play down the sideline on the wheel route. That could have been real close to pass interference. If the ball had been a little bit close to Hester, boy, it hit him right in the hands. Good coverage by the rookie, Justin Houston.
So 3rd and long, 10th play of the drive. You see how they've mixed up 4 rushing plays, 5 passes so far, and they've used up more than 5.5 minutes off the clock. Opening drive of the day for San Diego. On 3rd down, Rivers from the gun. They handle the pressure, lofts it up, and intercepted. It's picked off by Kendrick Lewis. Down the sideline for Kansas City. Lewis makes a cut. Lewis now into San Diego territory, and caught from behind. Vincent Brown, the intended receiver, and a flag thrown at the end of that run by Lewis.
Rivers looking for pass interference. Javier Arenas had the short coverage on Jackson, but Lewis came over, picked it off easily, but the crowd thought that there was pass interference as well. Right there, could make a good case for it.
Phillip Rivers, the interceptions continue. Now in week 3.
Sportsmanlike conduct on the bench for San Diego. The official was run over, working the play. 15-yard penalty, first down.
Wow.
That's why they have that white, it's about a 6-foot stripe on the sidelines around the entire field. Players are supposed to get out of that area, but here's Jackson running the corner route, and from the deep center field will come Lewis. But fans are saying that, hey, it looked like Arenas may have interfered. Ball was underthrown by Rivers. He was under pressure, tried to throw it on the run. That clearly is pass interference. Chiefs get a huge break.
So Kansas City, after the penalty, now with a football at the 20-yard line. On a handoff, LaRon McClain, who came over from Baltimore, and McClain could see some added responsibility carrying the football with the injury to Jamal Charles. Antonio Garay with the stop defensively for San Diego. So he picks up a couple of yards on 1st down.
Yeah, real bonus having a guy with the ability to play tailback and fullback. And McClain is no small guy at 260. He's got great feet.
He had over 900 rushing yards back in 2008. Went to the Pro Bowl a couple of times as a member of the Ravens. Chiefs trying to take advantage here. Up the middle. And a cut by Jones to pick up 4 yards for the Chiefs. Inside the 15 now. Kansas City driving.
Right about here is our official on the sideline. So watch, you see how close the players are to the field? He goes down here and he's going to collide right there, knocks him down, and that's a penalty. The Chargers have got to be outside of that to a white stripe on the sidelines, about 6 feet wide.
So now a 3rd and 4. Jackie Battle is in along with LaRon McClain. Chiefs trying to strike first here on the road in San Diego. Castle. Sidearm up the middle, and it's Battle, and it's very close to a first down. Able to fall forward. We'll see where they spot the football. Jacques Césaire in on that stop for San Diego.
And Jacques Césaire did a pretty good job, too. Number 74, right in the middle here. Watch as he battles two guys and falls off and makes the tackle and keeps the Chiefs just shy of that first down.
Now, what do you do here?
You got to go for it if you're the Chiefs.
This is a San Diego team that's been outscored 89-10 in its first two games. Pope and Beck, double tight end set. Play clock winding down. On a handoff, it's Jones struggling on that second effort, and a penalty marker is down. Donald Butler read it well and was there to greet Jones. But
Holding, number 45, on the offense. 10-yard penalty, still fourth down.
so back it up, and that changes the circumstances now for Kansas City.
Leonard Pope is a 6'8 tight end. Gets called for holding on this play. Here he is on the line of scrimmage. And it was a great effort by Thomas Jones, but you can see that not sure that Pope really held the San Diego player, or if the San Diego player just beat him into the backfield. Yeah, a little bit of a grab there, but huge penalty against the Chiefs.
Ryan Suckup, who is 1 of 3 on field goal attempts this season, out there to try a 38-yarder for Kansas City. Colquitt will hold it. Thomas Gafford, the snapper. Ryan Suckup from 38 yards away. No good. And it's been that kind of year so far for the Kansas City Chiefs. They have nothing to show for the turnover.
They get exactly what they want in the turnover. They get the great 50-yard return by Lewis. They can't convert on fourth down, and then they miss a chippy field goal. Wow.
After the missed field goal by Ryan Suckup, San Diego takes over on first down. Ryan Matthews banging his way to the 35-yard line for a 7-yard pickup. Matthews more confident. Last week, 64 yards on the ground. He had 62 yards through the air. And the San Diego Chargers defense ultimately holds up because Kansas City can't convert on a field goal.
The Chargers have run the ball on every first down so far in this ball game. That was Ryan's best carry.
5 carries so far, 15 yards. 2nd and 7. Little trickery here. And it's Jackson trying to get to the outside and forced to the perimeter. Brandon Flowers helped make sure of it. Maybe a gain of 1.
This didn't miss by much, but just enough. About 5 feet to the right. Yeah, that's what you do after you miss one of those. You go over and practice. Practice.
Practice. Yeah, this is a Kansas City team that didn't have to deal with major injuries last season, and obviously they've been hit as hard as anybody else around the league. At 0-2, and not just 0-2, the way they lost, the 2 lopsided losses to Buffalo and Detroit. On the flip to Creighton and a first down. He got the angle along the sideline for a 4-yard pickup. Brandon Flowers over there defensively, and they'll move the chains. Key injuries, Moeaki goes down in the preseason. Eric Berry, one of the young leaders on defense and a playmaker, goes down. And Jamal Charles, of course, last week on that cut against Detroit.
Yeah, 3 All-Stars in 3 weeks. Moeaki in the last preseason game in the 4th quarter goes down with that knee.
Charles went to the Pro Bowl last year with 1,467 yards rushing, almost 6.5 yards per carry. On first down. Knocked down. Rivers unable to get rid of it cleanly.
Appeared that was Derek Johnson, the inside linebacker. And he said, you know, even though the Chiefs are off to a rough start, he appreciates the demeanor and coaching style of Romeo Crennel. It was Johnson with the deflection there. He says Crennel has remained patient even when things have become chaotic. He stays the teacher, he strives to get his point across. And that's just what the Chiefs need right now. It's just to simplify things, get on the same page. Good play by Johnson.
Here's Rivers to throw. Oh, Vincent Jackson, terrific hands out along the sideline working against Brandon Flowers. It's 12 yards on the pass play and a first down for San Diego.
This is a confident quarterback throwing to a red-hot receiver, being able to catch the ball away from his body, keeping the defense. You can't cover any better than Flowers did that time. Ball was perfectly thrown, and a very confident catch, too, by Jackson.
And he is just a physical mismatch right now for Brandon Flowers at 5'9", 187. Third catch of the day for Jackson. Back to the ground game, and it's Matthews. Matthews able to turn the corner and get to the edge out at the 42-yard line, hit by Brandon Carr. That's a 6-yard gain for Matthews.
Now this is what the Chargers, why they drafted him number 1. They like his quickness, decision-making, the speed, good straight arm there. But this is what he's brought to the team this year, is the finish. Lowering his head, punishing the tackler, getting out of bounds, and picking up good yardage.
And he told us, he admitted a year ago his head was spinning. He was trying to live up to expectations. He's so much more comfortable this year. He's not thinking, he's just reacting now, and it's paying off. Mike Tolbert is in, play fake. Rivers, and nobody home. Threw it in the direction of Vincent Brown, the third-round draft pick. The pressure coming from Javier Arenas and Glenn Dorsey.
And give Brandon Carr good coverage in that secondary. He was not fooled by the play action, and he saw that deep crossing route. Chargers, more than any other team in the league, throw deep passes, especially deep crossing routes, taking advantage of the size of their receivers.
Well, the San Diego offense had 470 yards against New England. The problem was they gave up 504, including 423 through the air to Tom Brady. 3rd and 4. Rivers, it's caught by McMichael. First down inside the 35.
And Rivers is slow to get up. He took a shot as he got that ball off. He's lucky this ball wasn't picked off, too. He's feeling that one. He took a big hit last week against New England that caused him to have trouble calling the next play in the huddle. But watch the pressure right up the middle here. He gets hit in the back. A little bounce around pinball action in the pocket. But look at this throw. Good adjustment by McMichael.
And Rivers now 7 of 11, 57 yards. And he does have the pick. Kendrick Lewis with the interception. Tolbert. Not a lot there from Mike Tolbert. Had the costly fumble last week. Only 9 carries, 10 yards. Manage all of your CBS Sports Fantasy Football teams on your mobile device. Download the free app today at cbssports.com/mobile. So far, San Diego with 82 yards. Kansas City just 16. Wasted opportunity for the Chiefs. Second 10-play drive for the San Diego Chargers already. We are down to 1 minute to play in this first quarter. 2nd and 7 for San Diego. From the 32, deep drop. Flip it to the flat. And Tolbert able to get back to the line of scrimmage. That's it. You see all the red jerseys converge, including Brandon Flowers, first man there for Kansas City.
Good pressure on Rivers throughout this first quarter by the Chiefs. They're hitting him almost every time he goes back to throw. That was Tamba Hali, who has just been a real force for Kansas City. In fact, he has sacked Rivers 5.5 times in his short career. Also has forced a fumble from Rivers twice.
Hali signing that big long-term extension, 5 years, $60 million after 14.5 sacks last season to lead the AFC. Rivers on 3rd down. In stride, it's McMichael. Randy McMichael stepping in for the injured Antonio Gates, and McMichael is delivering so far in this first half. That's 10 yards and another first down. End of the first quarter, no score. Kansas City and San Diego will come back to Qualcomm after these messages. The NFL on CBS. Out along the Pacific here in San Diego. That was Dan Fouts' life for 15 years. Right there.
Beautiful North County beaches.
And very spot, in fact. Iron Eagle Dan Fouts with you. No score. Kansas City and San Diego. Rivers loses the football, gets knocked around. Kansas City should have recovered it. It was right there for the taking.
San Diego got it.
So the Chargers retain it.
Boy, there's some Chiefs that are... This is what Todd Haley was talking about, trying to do too much. All you have to do is fall on this ball. Don't have to pick it up and run for a touchdown. That's what happened last week when McGraw intercepted the pass. He got up off the ground and tried to run with it. See, the Chiefs right there. They fall on it. It's their ball. The Chargers get a huge break here.
Wallace Gilberry knocked it free. And for the Chargers, Nick Hardwick on the recovery. So San Diego holds on to it. Shotgun formation. Rivers. Short toss. Matthew. He's got space in front of him. And a first down inside the 10.
So this is a moment of truth for Kendrick Lewis and any defensive back. One-on-one with a elusive running back. Great tackle by Lewis to keep Matthews out of the end zone. There's nobody out here on this swing route except 23 and 24. That's a great tackle.
First and goal now for San Diego from the 8. So Matthews doing it both on the ground and through the air. First down handoff. Matthews, good cut, and takes it inside the 5. Holds onto the football as Savvy Piscatelli was the last line of defense. It's a 6-yard gain. Just underway here in the second quarter. San Diego Chargers interaction at 1-1. The Chiefs are 0-2.
Chargers have struggled in the red zone this season, especially last week against New England. Huge stop on 4th and goal. Really killed them.
They turned it over twice in key moments. 15th play of the drive. Shotgun formation. Rivers, inside handoff, and it's Matthews staying on his feet for the touchdown. Chargers go out in front. Ryan Matthews down low, and he turns it into 6.
You know, he said that Mike Tolbert has really helped him, especially in how to run low. Nobody runs lower than Tolbert, but Matthews takes the low road this time. And if he doesn't, he gets stood up at the goal line. But watch him get in behind that big offensive line and just lower his head on Lewis to get in this time.
That is a 15-play, 72-yard drive for San Diego. After Kansas City missed the 38-yard field goal, Nick Novak tacks on the extra point. And the Chargers with a 7-0 lead. Now, Rivers has been knocked around. That's the one thing that has stood out in this first half defensively for Kansas City. They've gotten to Rivers, but San Diego has gotten on the scoreboard. Ryan Matthews, who grew up a San Diego Charger fan, grew up specifically a LaDainian Tomlinson fan, and living the dream, getting a chance to play for the team he loved as a kid. And Matthews giving San Diego a 7-0 lead on the rushing touchdown, 12:45 to play in this first half. Buffalo, it is a final. The Bills have knocked off the New England Patriots. The Buffalo Bills undefeated, 3-0, and the dream continues for Ryan Fitzpatrick and company. Javier Arenas, the return man for Kansas City. And Arenas able to hit that hole and take it to the 30-yard line. That's a 35-yard return. So the San Diego Chargers, they've got the lead early stages, second quarter on the Chiefs. San Diego 7, Kansas City nothing. 12:38 remaining in this first half. Kansas City taking over with a 1st and 10 at its own 30-yard line. 6 offensive linemen out there for the Chiefs. Handoff, Jones blasting his way inside for a 3-yard gain. The NFL celebrates Hispanic Heritage Month. Visit the official Spanish language home of the NFL at NFL.com/Espanol for game highlights, fantasy football, and a look at your team's Hispanic Heritage Month celebration. So the Chiefs lose Jamal Charles to a torn ACL for the season. It happened last week in that loss to Detroit. It's an area where Kansas City believes they have a lot of depth with Thomas Jones and McCluster, Battle, and McClain. But the explosive nature of Charles, who can turn a catch into a 60-yard run and a touchdown, a run into a longer run than others because of his breakaway speed. That's an element that they will miss.
Yeah, and
Please reset the play clock to 10 seconds, please. Play clock to 10.
that's Walt Coleman, our referee for today.
That's a strong mic.
I'm putting 10 seconds on the clock. I don't know about you.
McCluster is an explosive player, but they don't know how durable he is and how much he can take the physical nature of this league. Jackie Battle getting the call. Fourth-year pro out of Houston, picking up a couple of yards.
You talked about that Buffalo win. This is 2 weeks in a row where they've been way behind. Last week against the Raiders, they come back to beat the Patriots. How about the Lions? They're undefeated as well. Eli having a big day, and you just can't count out Drew Brees, can you? Houston looked like they were in control in that ball game.
So now a 3rd and 4 for Kansas City from the 36-yard line. Shotgun formation. Castle locks in on McCluster, and McCluster forced out of bounds short of a first down. He got hit by Donald Butler, second-year linebacker out of Washington. He missed all of last season with a torn Achilles that he suffered in training camp, and they like Butler and the upside. And they're short. Kansas City's going to have to punt it.
Yeah, McCluster, they have him listed at 170. Todd Haley says he's more like 160. And you can see just didn't have the bulk or the power to break that really a good form tackle by Donald Butler.
So Colquitt on to punt it. And Brian Walters is waiting for it at the 15-yard line. They come up short, 4th and a yard. And Kansas City is yet to register a first down in this first half. High punt from Colquitt, very high. And Walters, fair catch called for in a crowd after the 36-yard punt. Strong start to 2011 for Ryan Matthews. It is clicking for the second-year pro out of Fresno State. Ryan Matthews with a 3-yard run on first down to set up 2nd and 7 now for San Diego. We've got 10:20 remaining in this second quarter. Kansas City Chiefs have 26 yards of offense, 117 for the Chargers, and the time of possession lopsided. From the gun, Rivers, safety valve, it's Hester, and Jacob Hester comes up short of the 30-yard line. Justin Houston lost his helmet on the play. It's a 2-yard pickup.
Chiefs that time played man-to-man across the board, did a good job of taking away all of Rivers' downfield receivers, but the protection was good enough that time. First time in a while that Rivers has gone back to pass and not been hit. Found his outlet receiver, but he has been taking a beating in this first half.
We talked earlier about Kansas City and the troubles they've had on third down. San Diego, it's the flip side.
Yeah.
They lead the NFL through 2 weeks in converting third downs. And they're trying to convert one here on a 3rd and 5 for the Chargers. 4 receivers set. Rivers throwing. Patrick Creighton loses the football and falls on top of it. A first down for San Diego as Flowers was able to strip it loose, but it goes down as an 11-yard gain.
5 of 6 now converting third downs. The Chargers get lucky here. The effort by Creighton after the catch is what picks up the first down, but then he gets hit from behind. It looked like Flowers came in with a left hand, popped it loose. But watch how this ball will just go straight down on the ground. Actually, give credit to Donald Washington. Flowers came over later, but good bounce for San Diego.
6 straight completions for Rivers. And it's first down for the Chargers. Rivers with a deep drop. Rush coming, and Rivers floats it over the head of Vincent Jackson, incomplete. And that's hard to do.
Well, what Rivers saw is he saw man-to-man, and he gave a signal out to Jackson. Jackson did not get the signal. It looked like Rivers wanted to go down the field with maybe even a back shoulder fade over Flowers, but obviously miscommunication there.
Yeah, Norv Turner, you asked him, hey, what was your message to the team this week? He said, look, We've been through this before. We're either going to be the team that turns it over in the big spot, which has happened the last couple of years, or we're going to turn the corner, take that next step as a team. Ryan Matthews picking his way, picked the right hole and was able to burst through it for a gain of 8.
And, you know, if they get performance out of the running game as they're getting today from Ryan Matthews, and you mix in Mike Tolbert into the backfield, then maybe the Chargers will take that next step. This is very reminiscent of the type of play calling the Chargers had when LaDainian Tomlinson was a featured back. The great LaDainian Tomlinson.
Injured Chief John McGraw, a knee bruise. His return is probable. Mike Tolbert is now out there facing a 3rd and 2. Donald Washington in for McGraw. They handle the pressure. And Rivers throws, almost picked off. Kendrick Lewis almost had his 2nd of the day. And San Diego will punt it.
And you got to give the Chiefs some credit with this pass defense. They were getting good pressure on Rivers. Rivers had the time that time as he's woofing at a Chief as he goes off the field, but obviously not on the same page. Actually, Rivers is yelling at the officials saying that the Chiefs bumped Jackson on that deep crossing route.
Mike Cypress on to punt it for the first time today for San Diego. Chargers in front 7-0. It's a San Diego team that didn't make the playoffs last year for the first time since 2005 after winning 4 straight division titles. Good coverage down the field as Arenas calls for the fair catch, a 41-yard punt. We're coming back. Phillip Rivers and the Chargers leading Kansas City 7-0, 7:33 mark of the second quarter. Chiefs take over with a 1st and 10 at its own 11-yard line. Now Todd Haley, the success last year, and he said it. Our guys are pressing. Guys are trying to do too much. They care a lot, but they're getting outside the realm of their job and their responsibility. Double tight end set with Pope and Becht. McCluster in the backfield. Castle. Dump it off to McCluster. Makes a move up the field, and McCluster is buried short of the 15-yard line. So a modest gain on 1st down as Antoine Cason, first man over there. The new season is underway. CBS has the #1 drama, #1 new drama, #1 new show, and the #1 show. Thanks for making CBS #1.
Good news for the Chiefs is Castle's 4 for 4. The bad news is it's only for 12 yards. Each pass play has been good for 3 yards.
Dwayne Bowe has not been a factor in this first half. Castle again, swing it. Thomas Jones on the outside. So the dink and dunk here for Kansas City. And that one covers 2 yards. Last year, the Castle-DeBow connection was the most lethal QB wide receiver combo in the NFL, scoring the football.
Not only does he not have a catch today, he hasn't even been thrown to yet. All the 5 completions by Castle have been to his running backs. Got to get Bowe the ball. 15 touchdowns. That's awesome.
So this is a 3rd and 5 now for Kansas City. Shotgun for Castle. Flushed out. Castle looking downfield. Nobody open and throws it away. Kerry Colbert was in the area. The veteran out of USC who hadn't been in the NFL since 2008. Steve Gregory with the pop. And Kansas City will punt.
Yeah, Gregory right here. This has been an incomplete pass. This is when you take a shot at somebody and you get the worst of it. This would have been an incomplete pass because Kerry Colbert had gone out of bounds. Chief coaching staff looking for a penalty on the late hit.
4 possessions, 3 punts, and 1 missed field goal for Kansas City. And that one nearly blocked from Colquitt. Walters lets it bounce, takes a Kansas City roll, he scoops it up to the 35, and Walters is brought down at the 40-yard line. So good field position for San Diego after the 50-yard punt and a 5-yard return.
And Colquitt's going to actually jump over the guys that are trying to block him. And he avoided the roughing the punter.
Back in San Diego, Chargers 7, Chiefs nothing. Chargers with a football at the 40-yard line. Play fake. Rivers dials up the deep ball. Looking for Floyd and picked off. Intercepted by Flowers, who'll get up and run with it for Kansas City. And Flowers has plenty of room. Ducks out of bounds just short of the 45-yard line. The second interception of the day for Philip Rivers. And now Flowers is down.
Ball overthrown by Philip Rivers. Great job by Flowers to pick it off.
And back here in San Diego, that kid actually has one interception as well today.
On the serious note, though, Brandon Flowers still down. He made a great adjustment to this ball to make this catch. You can see just barely overthrown to Floyd. And he had a lot of running room, but watch Ryan Matthews come in right here, clip his ankle right there, and he lands awkwardly. He comes limping to the sidelines, and now he's being helped off the field by two trainers.
Brandon Flowers, who played at a pro level last year, was able to walk off on his own powers at the trainer's table now on the Kansas City sideline. After the interception, Chiefs take over with Thomas Jones straight ahead for a 2-yard gain. He spilled out and hit by Vaughn Martin, who was really considered a project for San Diego, but Martin has now stepped into a major role on this defensive line. They're looking at the right leg of Flowers. So 2 interceptions for Philip Rivers. San Diego still in front, 7-0. Just over 5 minutes to play in this first half. With Jones again, spin move, and nothing there for Thomas Jones.
That's
Give him a gain of a yard.
Yeah, and that's 15 plays on offense the Chiefs have run. They've not had one play that has gained more than 4 yards. They're sticking to their game plan. Only down by 7. The defense is playing well. But offensively, at some point, you got to open things up.
This was the #1 rated rushing offense in the NFL last year. This was considered an up-and-coming team last year, emerging with a playoff berth. They lost to Baltimore in the postseason 30-7. And they face a 3rd and 7. Castle. Castle is dumped by Antoine Barnes.
Good job by Barnes. It's his 2nd sack of the year. Here he is right here. Watch his speed as he gets around Brandon Albert all the way around. He goes the polar route. Ball comes out. Heads up recovery by Weigman. This would have been a huge turnover for Kansas City. Good determination by Antoine Barnes.
And another punt from Colquitt. Walters brings it in inside the 10 and trying to break free. Too many Chiefs special teamers down there for him to deal with. And the line of scrimmage will be the 10-yard line after the 53-yard punt. Coming up, Sprint Halftime Report. JB and company have the latest NFL scores and highlights. It's all coming up on the Sprint Halftime Report. Not a lot of scoring highlights in this one. A couple of Philip Rivers interceptions has kept Kansas City in it. Well, the Chiefs are yet to have a first down. Their longest offensive play is 4 yards. 1st and 10 for San Diego. Here is Matthews. And hit as he comes up with a 4-yard gain by Donald Washington. Philip Rivers has been hit quite a bit, though, in this first half.
Yeah, he has, and he's just looks a little bit off. It's been the pressure that's caused it. You see the fumble there. Lucky for San Diego, they got that one back. But Rivers with 2 interceptions, thrown 2 today in the first half after throwing 2 in each of the last 2 games.
Brandon Flowers is on the Kansas City sideline, so Travis Daniels, the veteran, slides in for him, number 34. 2nd and 6. Keep it on the ground. Matthews trying to fight through that first wall, and Kelly Gregg held his ground for a 3-yard gain for Matthews.
Yeah, we have only seen Mike Tolbert one time today for a 3-yard carry. Matthews has gotten most of the carries so far with 12 for 47 yards, but right now the Chiefs are feeling good about their defensive game plan. Hitting Rivers, frustrating Rivers, and really containing this ground game as well.
Well, it's a San Diego team that has scored at least 400 points for 7 straight years. That's what Romeo Crennel, defensive coordinator of the Chiefs, is dealing with. That's the longest streak in the NFL. The offense has been fairly quiet for San Diego. Now a 3rd and 3. Rivers on a quick hitter for Ryan Matthews. Boy, what a difference you see in Matthews from last year to this year. Catching the football. That's a 24-yard gain and a first down for the Chargers as we hit the 2-minute warning here in the second quarter. Fast-paced first half with the Chargers in front. Last meeting between these two teams back in December, San Diego beat Kansas City 31-0 and held the Chiefs to 67 yards of offense and 5 first downs. San Diego with a 7-0 lead, 2 minutes to go in this first half. Handoff to Tolbert and busting his way through across the 45 for a 6-yard gain.
Let's go back to the swing pass right here to Matthews. See the linebacker in here, Houston, confused as to who he has on that coverage. Rivers sees it immediately. And the Chargers now have converted 6 of 8 third down opportunities.
2nd and 4 now from the 47. Rivers again on the dump off for Tolbert and able to catch it in stride and just about at midfield, a little bit short of a first down. And Travis Daniels is down. We've been told that Brandon Flowers' injury is a right knee. His return is questionable. Daniels, his replacement, is now down on the ground for Kansas City, and he's not getting up. We'll step aside with a 1.5 minutes to go in this first half.
Travis Daniels is outweighed by 50 pounds to Mike Tolbert. Watch Tolbert lower the boom here. Goes right over the top of Daniels. It appeared Daniels had some type of shoulder injury, and you can see why. Nobody can run lower than Mike Tolbert. And now the Chiefs are running out of defensive backs.
So Daniels is now down on the Kansas City sideline. Jaleel Brown, a rookie out of Colorado, along with Javier Arenas in there defensively. And a 3rd and 1. Driving for the first down, it is Tolbert. And that's a 5-yard pickup for the 4th-year running back out of Coastal Carolina. Former fullback, and that's really been an area that you look at their roster, Dan. They have not had that prototypical fullback in quite some time.
No, since Lorenzo Neal did they have the ultimate blocking fullback, clearing the way for LT so long.
Coming up, Sprint halftime report. JB and the rest of the crew, the latest NFL scores and highlights. That's coming up on the Sprint halftime report. First down for San Diego in Kansas City territory at the 45-yard line. Shotgun, Rivers. Protection is there. Rivers throws to the sideline, and it's incomplete. Patrick Creighton was the intended target.
Well, we're talking about Lorenzo Neal and his last 4 years in San Diego, blocking for LaDainian Tomlinson. You can see almost 140 yards per game. But since that time, obviously they've fallen off the rankings in the league. Jacob Hester, converted tailback at LSU, is the Chargers fullback, but not the prototypical fullback.
Now they've got some multi-purpose guys in Hester and Tolbert, but that was not a focus during the offseason. Meanwhile, Kansas City went out and signed LeRon McClain from Baltimore. Rivers wide open, Malcolm Floyd. So Floyd active today, not 100%, dealing with a groin injury.
But with all these injuries to the Chiefs secondary, you're going to see him playing zone, and that's what it was that time. Floyd found a huge hole for 17 in the zone right over the middle.
Rivers now 15 of 23, 141 yards, 2 picks. Rivers throwing again. He slings to the sideline, and Vincent Jackson. Clock is moving right now, 49 seconds, 48. Rivers trying to take a timeout, and he's given it. San Diego will have 1 remaining.
Jackson on the deep out route here, and that was a sling by Rivers. Now, I'm not so sure about that rule. I mean, he's catching the ball. He's not trying to run backwards. He's being forced out of bounds. But the official's a little quick to jump the gun there. Cost the Chargers a timeout. And the pressure of the field goal kicker trying to make an impression, Nick Novak, hoping the Chargers get in the end zone for a touchdown.
Novak, who actually appeared in 6 games as a member of the Chiefs back in 2008, bounced around Washington, Arizona, replacing the injured Nate Kading, who went down with a left knee injury on the opening kickoff of the season. On first down, 3 receivers set. Rivers, plenty of time. He throws, end zone, incomplete. Mike Tolbert releasing down the sideline. It'll be 2nd and 10.
That's twice now the Chargers in this area of the field have tried to hit their fullback on a wheel route against a linebacker. First time it was Jacob Hester against the rookie Justin Houston. This time Derek Johnson had the coverage on Tolbert. And I think Rivers saw Johnson, who's a tremendous player, great ball skills, decided to just throw that one away.
Well, we asked North Turner about maybe using some no huddle. He said, look, New England has so many versatile players. Our personnel grouping is much different than the Patriots. That's why it works for them. Rivers will throw it away. Put it over the head of Mike Tolbert. Good coverage there from Kansas City. Derek Johnson, very tight. And now 3rd and long for San Diego.
It's a constant pressure of just the 4-man rush for Kansas City that's giving Rivers some nervous times back in the pocket. Watch the pressure. Halif from this side, and then around the corner, McNeil does a good job keeping Cameron Sheffield away from the quarterback, but Rivers just looks a little antsy.
And the problem's continuing in the red zone here for San Diego. 12th play of the drive. They have 211 yards of offense and just 7 points. And a timeout called by Kansas City.
Team timeout. Kansas City, 30-second timeout.
You see Travis Daniels back in the game?
Indeed, 36 seconds remaining in this second quarter. And coming up on Showtime, it's Inside the NFL Wednesdays. JB, Chris Collinsworth, Phil Simms, Warren Sapp, cable's longest running show every Wednesday on Showtime. So there is Daniels, who was dealing with Mike Tolbert. And a lot of defensive backs have taken the brunt of the hit from Mike Tolbert now over the years.
But you see how Daniels is standing there, his left arm just kind of straight down. That concerns me a little bit because it appeared it might be his left shoulder that was injured.
It's now a critical 3rd and 10 here for San Diego. Tolbert remains in the game. Shotgun formation for Rivers. Kansas City crowds the line. They back off now. Rivers throwing. Flag down. Catch made by Floyd. And it's incomplete. He was out of bounds. Matched up with Travis Daniels.
They're going to call Floyd for pass interference. Great coverage by Daniels. Forced the throw out of bounds.
Pass interference. Number 80. Offense. Penalty decline. 4th down.
Yeah, that's the right call for the Kansas City team to decline this penalty and force the San Diego field goal unit on.
Good call by the officials that was incomplete. Floyd's left foot on the boundary.
So Nick Novak, who grew up in the area here in San Diego, 35-yard attempt. And the Chargers now take a 10-0 lead with 28 seconds to play. First half.
Let's go back to the pass interference against Malcolm Floyd. Bottom of the screen here. And Rivers sees the double coverage on Jackson. So he's going outside to Floyd. Just a little left-handed push there by Floyd as the ball's in the air. Clearly incomplete, clearly a penalty.
So San Diego now in front, 10-0. And coming up tonight on CBS, former Indianapolis Colt Marcus Pollard competes on The Amazing Race. Plus, Survivor winners Ethan and Jenna. Don't miss the season premiere of The Amazing Race. That's tonight after 60 minutes, only CBS.
There's a lot of good stuff on CBS tonight.
You're all over it, Ted. Now, this Kansas City team has now been outscored 99-10 through 2.5 games. There's Jim Zorn, the quarterback's coach, We'll talk about that dynamic in the second half between Zorn and Haley and Castle and offensive coordinator Bill Muir. And obviously it's a work in progress because this Kansas City offense is yet to get going this season. Forget about this half. Novak kicking it off. On a bounce for Arenas. And Arenas has stood up as he comes up shy of the 30-yard line. And it's Diggs making the play on special teams. So AFC West, this is a division that's been controlled by San Diego in recent years. Last year, Kansas City surprised everybody. You think Oakland is much improved this year? Oakland Raiders?
Well, the Raiders are leading right now over the Jets 17-14. Actually, it's the Jets, but the Raiders have got the type of team. They were so much more physical than the rest of the AFC West last year. Swept the division, unheard of, and not make the playoffs.
Kansas City with 22 seconds left now. Dump it off, and McCluster out across the 30-yard line.
Right. Stop the presses. A 5-yard gain for Kansas City.
That is their longest of the first half on offense.
And again, it's a running back with the catch.
There is just nothing happening down the field for Kansas City.
Well, San Diego obviously is going to be double covering Dwayne Bowe all over the field. And Matt Castle said they were going to move him around, try to get him away from those double coverage. But right now the Chargers have been able to zero in on 82 and just keep him shut out.
33 yards of offense for Kansas City. They officially called that a 4-yard gain, so that matches their longest. So call it second and a long 5. Castle brought down. Vaughn Martin helping to give chase. It's a 1-yard pickup, and that is the end of this first half. The Kansas City offensive problems continue. San Diego with a 10-0 lead at the break. JB and the rest of the crew, the Sprint Halftime Report is coming up after this message and a word from your local station. This is the NFL on CBS. Here in San Diego, the Chiefs and the Chargers, and Phillip Rivers has felt the pressure in this first half from Kansas City. A couple of interceptions from Rivers to keep the Chiefs in this game. But offensively, the struggles continue for Kansas City. Only 34 yards of offense in the first half. As we get ready for second half action, it's 10-0 San Diego in front of the Chiefs. Right now, let's take a look at the NFL mobile recap, Dan. And there's not a whole lot to recap here offensively. As we know, San Diego was able to get it going on the ground with Ryan Matthews and the offensive line.
Well, he got in behind the big right guard, Luis Vasquez, and big right tackle, Jeremy Clary. But I was so impressed with how he went low to get into the end zone. But this second half, Kansas City, they're playing well on defense. They're getting the turnovers, the things they need to do. Offensively, dreadful, less than 2 yards per carry, per play. They got no first downs on third down conversion, so that's the first thing. Make a first down, move the ball down the field, get some confidence going, and see if you're not out of this game. It's just 10-0 at this point.
Kansas City will kick off to start out this second half with Ryan Suckup. Richard Goodman is deep. And Goodman's going to take a knee. Chargers will have it at the 20-yard line to open up this third quarter. The numbers in that first half, it's hard to believe that an NFL offense can produce just 34 yards in a half.
Yeah, there are 18 plays, 34 yards, no play over 4 yards for Kansas City, and no pass attempts thrown in the direction of number 82, Dwayne Bowe. That has got to change here in the second half for Kansas City.
Injuries for Kansas City on defense. Brandon Flowers, right knee injury. His return is questionable. McGraw went down with a knee bruise. We have not seen him since early in this game. So Donald Washington in for McGraw and Travis Daniels in for Flowers. On first down from the 20 for San Diego. Give is to Matthews, and he's driven backwards by Glenn Dorsey. It's a loss of 2 on the play.
Take a look at the first half possessions for San Diego. That a couple of real nice long drives, but the interception on the first drive obviously killed the Chargers' chances. And just that one touchdown after a 15-play drive. The time of possession clearly in San Diego's favor by almost 10 minutes.
But for the Chargers, this has not been a banner day offensively.
It has not been smooth at all.
Struggles in the red zone. Here's Rivers stepping up, and Rivers is sacked. Philip Rivers was trying to sidestep. Tamba Hali was over there for Kansas City. And Rivers is banged up.
Yeah, it looks like he's holding his shoulder. He's a tough guy, but he can only take so many shots.
Well, I think he tripped over his own man here.
Well, Hester gets overpowered on the right side of the screen, right back into the quarterback. And then Johnson falls on top of him, or is that Belcher? 59 Belcher. He runs over Ryan Matthews, so both running backs for the Chargers give up that sack.
So now 3rd and 17 with a tight formation. They'll go conservative. And Matthews, pretty good rip by Matthews, will come up short of the first down, though. Brought down to the 25-yard line. That's a 12-yard gain. San Diego goes 3 and out to start out this second half.
This is the good pass rush by Hali as he just drives Jacob Hester all the way back to the quarterback. And that subsequent call by Norv Turner, it was to get his quarterback off the field. That's why he handed the ball off, very conservative with that, but they're going to check out Rivers, make sure he's okay.
Now Rivers has winced in pain throughout the first half, and now first possession of the second half. Cyphers the punt. Arenas backpedals and brings it in at the 21. Arenas, good cut up the field. Crossing midfield into San Diego territory and then out of bounds short of the 40-yard line. The Chiefs searching for something to help get them going. A 37-yard punt return may be the trick. Here's the yardage breakdown for Kansas City today. 21 rushing yards, 13 passing yards, 132 return yards, the latest coming from Javier Arenas. Kansas City takes over with a give to Thomas Jones, and Jones able to stay up on his feet and gain some extra yards after the contact from Steve Gregory. Picks up 4.
Now these next series of numbers are not going to be pretty for Kansas City fans, unless you're a fan of punting.
Well, there are some people out there that enjoy a nice punt.
I know the Colquitt family does. There's all kinds of Colquitts punting in this world.
The first family of punting. 8 carries, 20 yards for Thomas Jones. This is a 2nd and 6 inside the San Diego 40. Bootleg, and Leonard Pope getting involved in the offense. And that is Kansas City's first down of the day on that 8-yard pass from Castle to Pope.
Yeah, and it's a play-action pass, and moving Castle out of the pocket. Good call by Todd Haley, Bill Muir, and Jim Zorn. Not sure who to give credit for on that. Give them all. They're all on the same phone line.
That's their longest play from scrimmage as well. On a pitch, McCluster. And Dexter McCluster hit sideways. 3-yard gain. Donald Butler over there. And that's part of the storyline right now for Kansas City. Charlie Weiss leaves, goes to Florida to run their offense. And how is the relationship going between Zorn and Castle and Haley and Muir?
Well, it's taken a while, according to Matt Castle, to get on the same page. The adjustments there, but it's been a challenge. Different terminology. It takes a while when a new coordinator comes in for a quarterback to feel comfortable in just calling the plays.
On second down, short drop. Castle incomplete. He was trying to hit Steve Breston, the free agent pickup from Arizona. Antoine Cason over there defensively.
Well, and they need Breston to make an impact on this offense. Put up some good numbers with the Arizona Cardinals. 190 catches so far in his career. That was good coverage by Antoine Cason.
Yeah, Breston had over 1,000 yards receiving back in 2008, and that's when Todd Haley was there as the offensive coordinator. So a familiarity between Haley and Breston and Leonard Pope, a former Cardinal. 3rd and 7 now. Castle steps. Castle throws, and hauled in by Bo. It'll be 1st and goal for Kansas City. Bo finally gets on the board. A 23-yard hookup.
Well, it's a zone coverage for San Diego, and Bo will go inside to the post and then back to the corner. And Gregory, late getting over to the ball, Ball perfectly thrown by Castle, and the biggest play of the game for Kansas City. And finally, Dwayne Bowe gets involved.
Injured player, it's Quentin Jammer for San Diego. So we'll step aside with the Chiefs threatening. Back here in San Diego, Chargers holding on to a 10-0 lead. Kansas City, though, with a 1st and goal inside the 5. Quentin Jammer injured on the previous play. Marcus Gilchrist is in to replace him, rookie out of Clemson. 1st and goal. Castle, fade route up top. Dwayne Bowe, incomplete. That's the call from the backside. They'll huddle up. Bowe and Pope are claiming that he got in.
Well, that's why we have instant replay, but somebody has to make a call here. Incomplete or touchdown.
It's a touchdown. We'll take a look.
Kason with good coverage, perfect throw by Castle. I think he got the right toe down. The left toe was close to the out-of-bounds line. This gives us a better angle. That's the left. There's the right. Touchdown, Kansas City. Beautiful camera work. Beautiful catch as well. 2 big catches for Bowe on this drive. That one a thing of beauty.
So it's Castle to Bowe. Of course, it will be reviewed. All scores are reviewed in the NFL now.
It was interesting that when Jammer gets hurt, he goes out. Kason goes from his normal spot as a right cornerback over to the left side because that's where Bowe is. Chargers wanted their best available guy on Bowe, but there's no stopping a perfect throw and an outstanding catch.
And the touchdown will stand for Kansas City. Ryan Suckup on for the extra point. The Chiefs are right back in it. Matt Castle connecting with Dwayne Bowe. The Chiefs have cut the San Diego lead to 3. 34 total yards in the first half. Kansas City 42 yards on that drive and a touchdown from Castle to Bowe covering 4 yards. And Kansas City now trailing San Diego 10-7. Ryan Suckup to kick it off. Richard Goodman is deep. And Suckup able to bang this one out of the end zone. San Diego will have it at the 20. Phillip Rivers actually left the field for a stretch during that Kansas City drive. Obviously now back on with his helmet on. This was the hit he took earlier as he went down off the rush by Hali.
Yeah, Belcher as well. And then you can see Rivers in discomfort here. It's almost as if he pinched his shoulders, or the collarbone perhaps. But he's back out there, one tough dude.
So 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line. The difference now is that Rivers is operating with a 3-point lead as opposed to a 10-point lead. Shotgun formation for Rivers to start out this drive. Rivers over the middle. It's McMichael and breaking off a big one. Randy McMichael barrels out across the 45-yard line. That's a 26-yard pass play. Donald Washington missed initially. And McMichael stepping in for the injured Antonio Gates.
Well, he looks a lot like Gates on this, doesn't it? Comes off the line of scrimmage, gets inside quickly. Rivers gets him the ball in a hurry. But how about the moves, getting away from Robinson there and then all the way down the field near midfield? That's a big play on 1st down of 26 yards.
Plantar fasciitis for Gates, the 7-time Pro Bowler. Work out of the gun again. Rivers should have been intercepted. Derek Johnson on his hands. That would have been number 3 for Phillip Rivers.
Yeah, and again, it's the Chiefs changing up their defense that time. They went to a zone, and Derek Johnson, we talked about his ball skills. He's so athletic. Saw the route coming in behind him, and as you said, Ian, he should have picked that one off.
So 2nd and 10 now for San Diego. 10:36 to play in the 3rd. Chargers leading by 3. Line of scrimmage just across the 45. Matthews with a big hole. And Matthews taking it to the outside. Good blocks by McNeil. Hardwick as well. That's a 9-yard gain for Ryan Matthews.
You always talk about running backs getting north and south there. If Matthews saw that he had extra yardage to the outside, and he cut to the outside, and that cost him the first down. If he just plows forward, he would pick up the first down by a couple of yards. Got up kind of frustrated with himself.
66 yards on the ground now for Matthews, and the only touchdown of the day for San Diego. In Kansas City territory, facing a 3rd and 1. Movement, and flags come down.
Good job by Rivers. Looked like he pulled him off sides.
Encroachment, number 99, defense, 5-yard penalty, first down.
And it's the veteran Amon Gordon, who's a San Diego native.
Yeah, it's a real good hard count. The question is, does Rivers bobble his head? Watch Rivers here as he's calling the snap count. Just a little bit. More voice inflection than anything.
So a 1st and 10. Ball is spotted at the 40-yard line of Kansas City.
Amon Gordon is Stanford grad. You're supposed to say at this time that's a bad mistake for a guy that went to Stanford.
What are you saying? That
They're smart.
Stanford guys don't make mistakes?
Not like that.
On 1st down. What about an Oregon guy? Would he make a mistake like that?
Absolutely, all the time.
Shotgun. Here's Rivers. Steps in stride. Vincent Jackson. And Jackson across the 20-yard line. Houston got him down low. 20-yard pass and catch.
The Chargers are using Vincent Jackson more as a slot receiver, and it's a good idea because of his size and speed. He's a huge target. A lot of teams use a Wes Welker type. You see the little jerk route there as he works on the rookie, Justin Houston. This is an impressive drive after the Kansas City touchdown. Another big gain, that one for 20.
1st down at the Chiefs' 20. Chargers trying to answer after the touchdown drive from Kansas City. Empty backfield here for Rivers. So they'll spread it out. Rivers, quick hitter. Over the middle, Malcolm Floyd. You got Jackson at 6'5". You have Floyd at 6'5". And that's good for 10 yards.
You know, we were visited at halftime by Rod Laver, and Rod was telling me that how come the Chargers aren't throwing more crossing routes? They've been so good at these crossing routes. And I said, I don't know, Rod, but we come out in the second half. That's all the Chargers are hitting, are crossing routes, and they're being very effective. You think we ought to get the rocket up here, or the 3rd-man booth, huh?
One of the greatest champions in tennis history, Rod Laver, breaking down the game at halftime.
He knows football.
Well, why do we need a 3-man booth? We'll just replace you.
Ooh.
On 1st and goal. Matthews driving inside the 5. Derek Johnson brings him down. It's a 5-yard gain, and now some flow offensively here for San Diego.
Very impressive drive, especially coming from the 20-yard line after the good kickoff by Suckup. The touchdown catch by Bo. Looked like the Chiefs had momentum, but the Chargers, 6 plays so far on this drive.
2nd and goal. Tight formation. Rivers on a dig. Matthews, does he have the angle? He does! Touchdown, San Diego! 2nd rushing touchdown of the day for Ryan Matthews.
There was a moment there where it looked like Travis Daniels had the angle on Matthews, but I think Matthews surprised him with his speed. It's just a straight handoff and a good block by Vincent Jackson. Right there, it looks like Daniels has the speed to take out Matthews, but he cannot do it.
7 plays, 80 yards for the Chargers. And San Diego able to extend its lead with 7:32 to go in this 3rd quarter. Nick Novak, the extra point. It's a 10-point cushion for the Chargers. Long drive by San Diego to answer. San Diego in front of Kansas City, 17-7 here in the 3rd quarter. And coming up on Wednesday, I want to wish Chargers owner Alex Spanos a happy 88th birthday. His wife Faye there on the right side, longtime owner of the Chargers. They've built quite a tradition here in San Diego. Ryan Matthews with a 4-yard touchdown run, his 2nd of the day. And the Chargers now in front by 10. They'll kick it off with Nick Novak. Arenas is deep from the 5, returnable. Stutter step, and Arenas chopped down as he crossed the 25-yard line. Stayed on his feet and then got driven backwards. Kansas City, can they keep it going offensively? We'll find out. Kansas City's depth is being tested once again this week. Travis Daniels seeing more time, replacing the injured Brandon Flowers. And we just received word for San Diego that Quentin Jammer is out with a hamstring and will not return. Marcus Gilchrist, the rookie out of Clemson. Second round pick replaces him. Here's Castle on first down. And Castle with a flag down is hit out across the 30-yard line as he picks up 4 yards. Donald Butler with the stop.
Holding, number 73, offense, 10-yard penalty, still first down.
That's John Asamoah, second year out of Illinois on the right side. Coming up tonight on CBS, don't miss Emmy winner Juliana Margulies in the season premiere of The Good Wife. Catch it on its new night and time tonight after The Amazing Race, only CBS. So back it up, 1st and 20 now for Kansas City. From the gun, give is to McCluster. And nowhere to run for Dexter McCluster. Sean Phillips, first man there, and he's held to no gain.
Great speed by Sean Phillips coming off the side. Ran down McCluster from behind. Watch him right here, just come right down the line.
Rushing yards for Kansas City. On a delay, McCluster. He's got big time speed as he tries to get into the open field. It's a 10-yard gain. Todd Haley saying that McCluster is deceptively strong and would like to get him 10 to 12 touches a game, similar to what San Diego did with Darren Sproles when he was a part of the Chargers.
Yeah, he ran right through the tackle of Sean Phillips there to pick up an extra 5 yards, showing his strength. Very explosive player. You talk about a huge third down opportunity for Kansas City. This is it right now.
Playing without Jamal Charles, out for the season on injured reserve with a torn ACL. They're trying to get it done with a combination of Jones and McCluster. Here is McCluster, and he slices his way for a first down out across the 40-yard line. That's a 16-yard gain for McCluster.
It tells you the confidence that Todd Haley, Bill Muir have in their offensive line on 3rd down and 10 to go with the draw play. And McCluster does more than pick up the first down. He gets 16 yards on that draw. Keeps the drive alive.
Bill Muir, offensive coordinator, also the offensive line coach for Kansas City, longtime coach in the NFL. And this Kansas City squad is down by 10 with 5:22 to go in the 3rd. McClain in there. And McClain running with it, but a flag down, and it whistles the play dead.
He was getting a little testy out there. After that last extra point, there was a big scrum that lasted for about a minute with no flags being thrown.
False start, number 71, offense, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Chiefs were able to overcome their last penalty, the holding on Asamoah. But on first down here, Lilja moves early.
Well, Jared Gaither was actually the 6th offensive lineman, and he was the one that got whistled on the penalty.
Yeah, it was Gaither.
So they're back to the traditional 5 on the old line now. 4th penalty against Kansas City, a 1st and 15. Castle to McCluster. They're trying to ride McCluster here. Boy, he's dishing out some punishment across the 45. That's a 9-yard gain for McCluster. Kansas City working quickly here on offense and not huddling up. Thomas Jones on that Kansas City sideline, the 12-year veteran. Second among active players in rushing yards behind the former Charger LaDainian Tomlinson, over 10,000 in his career. McClain in the backfield. Kansas City just looking for the right combination now offensively. And McClain unable to get a burst. Vaughn Martin fully prepared. No gain on the play.
And the Chiefs going with the no-huddle offense. Let's go back to the Quentin Jammer injury. It appears that he pulled his left hamstring. And now it's the case. We've been told by the Chargers that he will not return. But that forces Marcus Gilchrist, the number 2 pick out of Clemson, into the ball game. And he's been on Dwayne Bowe. We'll see who he covers this time as Kaysen will go out to Bowe.
This is a 3rd and 6 now for Kansas City. And Castle forced to use a timeout. They were not on the same page. Castle was trying to communicate to Bowe. And a timeout called at the 3:47 mark of the 3rd quarter, with San Diego leading it 17-7. Coming up Saturday, the Home Depot rolls out a day-night triple header. First at noon Eastern, Air Force takes on Navy. Then it's Auburn at undefeated South Carolina. And in primetime, number 2, Alabama heads to the Swamp to take on Florida. It's all right here Saturday on CBS Sports. There's Jim Zorn and Matt Castle. Zorn, formerly the head coach of the Washington Redskins.
And you wonder about the communication with the Chiefs. Bill Muir calls the play down to Jim Zorn and to Todd Haley at the same time. Haley obviously can overrule any play, but a delay of game penalty happens because of communication. Obviously, at some point there was a disagreement perhaps on what play should have been called in that situation.
On a 3rd and 6 now for the Chiefs. Beck goes in motion. Fake the handoff. Castle steps up. Castle in trouble, and he is sacked. Sean Phillips, Antoine Barnes, San Diego getting pressure on Matt Castle.
Yeah, we saw Barnes with a good pressure earlier in the game. He does the same thing this time, going around the pocket and forcing Castle up into the pocket where all his buddies were.
Penalty marker.
Illegal contact, number 27. Defense. 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Wow.
That's interesting because there's no number 27 for San Diego.
Player number 20.
It's
there you
Antoine
go.
Kaysen on the outside here against Bowe. That contact right there is illegal. Too far down the field. It was called because Castle was still in the pocket. Could not contact the receiver past 5 yards down the field while the quarterback is still in the pocket.
And Kansas City catches a huge break because Castle was a sitting duck. First down for the Chiefs in San Diego territory. They got Thomas Jones back into the mix. And Jones will pick up 2 yards as he falls forward. Travis LeBoy over there defensively for the Chargers.
And the Chargers have a player slow to get up. Not getting up at all. This really can affect San Diego's defense with Corey Liuget out. Luis Castillo obviously out on that defensive line.
Castillo out with a tibia injury, and that is Jacques Césaire, who got the start for Corey Liuget today. Césaire, former starter, rotation defensive lineman. Hard worker, Division II product out of Southern Connecticut State.
It's a stretch play and totally unblocked is Jacques Césaire, but you could see that he grabs his knee as he fell over that pile. A big man at 295 pounds. Looked like LeBoy was making the tackle, and it's just one of those unfortunate situations where you're injured by your own guy.
You know, we talked to Takeo Spikes, came over, newcomer with the San Diego defense, and asked him, is there anybody that surprised you that you just didn't know a whole lot about? He's first guy he said, Jacques Césaire works so hard, and so many guys follow his lead because he brings it every single day in practice.
Well, you could see on that play there, and he was not blocked. Went down the line of scrimmage trying to get in on the tackle. And a good sign seeing him walking off the field without any help from the training staff. One more time for Jacques Césaire. Total hustle play here. LeBoy, 99, comes over there and just clips his lower leg.
You know, Spike said that's been the toughest adjustment, the new players on defense trying to mesh with the holdovers here for San Diego. It's a process. And Spikes himself said, I'm still trying to learn what the guys like to do up front and how I can help them.
And a new defensive coordinator in Greg Minuski, who happened to have been in San Francisco with Spikes.
With Spikes. So they're familiar with one another. But he said that Minuski changed a lot of the terminology so that the current players on San Diego would know exactly what Minuski was talking about instead of everybody having to change for him.
And not be confused like I am now.
Yeah, I have no idea what we're talking about. No, that's what it was.
Yep.
2nd and 8. McCluster to the outside. And good contain there from San Diego out along the edge. Marcus Gilchrist limiting him to a 2-yard gain. Let's take a look at what McCluster's done on this drive.
Well, he's the type of running back that you hold your breath when he gets the ball, because with his speed and his north-south running is a threat to go all the way at any time. Very exciting play.
53 combined yards for Dexter McCluster, rushing and receiving. This is now a 3rd and 6 for Kansas City. Still have 2:56 to play in this 3rd quarter. Jones trying to dart through the hole, and it closed up in a hurry. Niall Diggs helping out a veteran now in his 12th year, formerly with Green Bay, Carolina, and St. Louis.
But it's another draw play on 3rd down. They were lucky to pick up the draw to McCluster when it was 3rd and 10 earlier. They tried to go to Jones this time on a draw play, and now they're forced to go for it on 4th down.
Do you agree with this?
No, I agree with this. I don't agree with the draw plays.
4th and 4. From the 42. Shotgun Castle. Steps. Fires. And he's got Steve Breaston. And it's going to be enough for a 1st down. The Chargers initially thought they had driven him backwards, but forward progress is going to give him the gain of 4.
It's a heck of a catch by Breaston, because he got drilled by Dante Hughes. Good mark by the officials. He clearly was pushed back after the catch. Castle with a good job of stepping up and firing. The ball thrown behind Breaston. That's an outstanding catch with Dante Hughes coming in a hurry.
Jared Gaither on the field. Extra offensive lineman. McCluster going airborne and tripped up. It's a gain of 1 for the 2nd-year, 2nd-round pick out of Mississippi as Phillips and Kaysen combined to bring him down.
Chargers relying on Anton Kaysen to play instead of Quentin Jammer, playing left corner, normally the right corner. We'd like to have him shadow Dwayne Bowe.
So they're using Gilchrist at the right corner spot, Kaysen over on the left side. And Jammer out with that hamstring injury. He will not return. 2nd and 9. Play action. Castle throwing on the move. He's got Bowe and a penalty marker down. San Diego pointing in Kansas City's direction as if it was a hold.
Holding, number 62, offense. 10-yard penalty. Still second in.
And that's the veteran Casey Wigman, Pro Bowler in 2008, and Césaire is headed towards the tunnel.
Right in the middle is Cam Thomas and the center, Casey Wigman. Thomas is going by him, and he's just held there. Look at that right hand just locking up Thomas. Anthony Beck is down. It appears he has a case of cramps in his legs. Not that warm a day here in San Diego, but he's in obvious pain.
Oh, Anthony Beck, another player that Todd Haley was familiar with from Arizona. Beck was out of football last year, didn't make a roster. 1st-round pick of the Jets back in 2000. Played with Tampa Bay, St. Louis, and then the Cardinals. An experienced veteran. And coming up tonight, it's the season premiere of 60 Minutes inside the best counter-terror team in the world, New York City's elite police force. Plus, the creators of South Park. 60 Minutes, that's tonight only CBS. And they're still over there with Anthony Becht, the 34-year-old. Jacques Césaire, it is a knee injury for Césaire, as we saw earlier, went to the locker room. His return is questionable.
A lot of injuries in this ball game, huh?
Yep. A lot of injuries in general for these two teams already on the young season. We know Kansas City's been hit as hard as anybody in the league, but this week San Diego, some injuries popped up defensively with Sanders after Antonio Gates was shut out last week against New England. The word came out that the plantar fascia that he had been dealing with is still a major issue. Norv Turner said he tore that plantar fascia and there's some scar tissue in there, and that's what they have to deal with on a weekly basis.
And you look at exactly what you're talking about. Floyd has been able to contribute on a limited basis today, but with both Gates and Sanders out, you add Quentin Jammer to that mix. The Chargers have their share of injuries as well as the Chiefs, but it all, in my mind, goes back to the lockout. Players not being prepared physically to play in the NFL because they weren't able to work out as much as a team in the offseason. There's nothing like working out with your team, much more effective than working out as individuals.
Defensive injuries for Kansas City today, with Flowers and McGraw dealing with knee injuries. Here's Castle. Oh, hit as he throws. And a diving grab by McCluster. And a penalty marker down as
they're going to get LeBoy for roughing the passer. Went right to the head of Matt Castle. Huge mistake by LeBoy.
Rubbing the passer, number 99, defense. 15-yard penalty added to the end of the play. First down.
And LeBoy did not have to do this. He was in on the quarterback, could have hit him cleanly. But watch number 99 from the top of the screen, left side here. He goes in and brings his left hand up to the helmet of Matt Castle. Gets by Leonard Pope. And you cannot bring that hand up and not hit the quarterback in the head. And that's been a rule change, kind of a rule point of emphasis, that if it's an accidental hit to the helmet, it's okay. That, no accident.
Time winding down here in the third quarter. 12th play of the drive for Kansas City, and a first down inside the 30. Running play. And it's Jones. 6-yard gain for Jones. Good block by Brandon Albert. End of the third with San Diego in front, 17-7.
Drop and roll, we got soul. Safety popped off when we lock and load. So this is how we get this done. You can check on the rep. Yep, second and none.
Two of the original members of the AFL, the Chargers and the Chiefs. San Diego with a 17-7 lead over Kansas City. Iron Eagle, Dan Fouts, and the rest of our crew here in Southern California. Kansas City with an opportunity to put some points on the board as we start playing this fourth quarter. Second down and 4 for the Chiefs. Take the handoff initially. McCluster will slow down and then takes it right up the middle for a 2-yard gain to the 20. It sets up third down now for the Chiefs. Cam Thomas with the stop.
Travis LeBoy had a shot at making a tackle in the backfield on that reverse. But I think McCluster, his strength, surprised LeBoy. Broke away from that tackle and picked up enough yards to make this a very interesting third and short.
Haley talked about getting McCluster between 10 to 12 touches on offense. Right now, he's got 13, 8 carries, 5 catches. 14th play of the drive, over 8 minutes of elapsed time. Kansas City with a 3rd and 2. Handoff, and it's McCluster driving forward, and enough for a first down. So this possession will continue here for Kansas City with a new set of downs to work with.
You got to be impressed with they sticking to their game plan, running the ball. Matt Castle asked him yesterday if he thought that he was going to have to carry the team, him and Dwayne Bowe in the passing game. He said, no, I think we may even run the ball more. We feel that confident with our running attack against anybody.
And Antonio Garay was very slow rolling over. Well, that looks like blood coming off above the right eye of Garay. Right now they're trying to stop the bleeding with Antonio Garay. Now in his 5th year in the NFL. Really had a breakout season last year, anchoring That 3-4 set up the middle for San Diego. Now on the sideline for the Chargers. First down. Timing route up in the air. Hauled in by Breaston, but he was out of bounds. Working against the rookie Marcus Gilchrist.
Smart choice by Matt Castle. Just threw the ball too far to the outside. You can see Breaston with a great effort to make the catch. Clearly out of bounds, though. Not bad coverage by Gilchrist.
So now San Diego has to mix and match on this defensive line with Cesare going down, Garay on the sideline, Cam Thomas is in, Vaughn Martin in as well, and Ogemdi Nwabo on second down. Thomas Jones able to stay on his feet. And it would have been a loss on the play, and Jones actually will get a loss of 1. Could have been a loss of 3 or 4.
Steve Gregory unable to make the tackle on Jones. Jones in his 12th year, still a very viable option for the Chiefs.
12 carries, 29 yards for Thomas Jones. This is now a 3rd and 11 for Kansas City. 17th play of the drive. Running play. Jones on a stutter step. And a flag down as he hit the 15-yard line. Nwabo with the tackle. And a question, do you decline the penalty and just let Kansas City on 4th down kick the field goal?
There's no flag on the play for holding. 4th down.
Yeah, it's irrelevant. So the field goal unit comes on with Ryan Suckup, who missed one earlier from 38 yards away.
He's had trouble all season. Just 1 out of 4. You see that one just barely misses in the opener against Buffalo. And last week against Detroit, it's the other side. And then earlier today, he missed wide right.
33-yard attempt for Suckup. It's good. And Kansas City has cut it to 7. Early stages, 4th quarter. We're coming back to San Diego in a moment. Now sometimes there are just tough assignments for us, and you got to take one for the team, come out to San Diego and deal with the beach and the waves. San Diego with a 17-10 lead over Kansas City. That's an 18-play, 58-yard drive. And they have to settle for a Suckup 33-yard field goal. Chargers will get the football here after the Suckup kickoff. Hester. And Hester with a curl. And brought down just short of the 30-yard line. Next Sunday, NFL on CBS doubleheader. First, the Steelers take on the Texans. Game 2, the Broncos at Green Bay, New England at Oakland, and Dan and I will be right here in San Diego as Miami comes to town. It all starts at noon Eastern. The NFL Today, presented by Southwest Airlines.
That was a heck of a job of Jacob Hester, first catching that low-line drive on one hop and then making something out of it. Good field position for San Diego to start this drive.
Well, it's been a while since Phillip Rivers in the San Diego offense was actually on the field. Rivers, 209 passing yards on 19 of 31, no touchdowns, 2 interceptions. And his team nursing a 7-point lead. Fake the handoff. Rivers set up the screen for Matthews. And Matthews able to fall forward for a gain of 4. Demario Williams making that play defensively for Kansas City.
That's 4 catches for Matthews, but he's done it on the ground as well. 17 carries for 75 yards and those 2 touchdowns. And good ball security, running low, running hard, falling forward after contact.
And a good Fouts focus this week. That was the topic of conversation. Ryan Matthews changing his running style, adjusting, and as Norv Turner said, he's still learning how to be a pro. 2nd and 6. And it's Matthews. Good burst by Matthews, and he crosses the 45-yard line. 14-yard gain. NFL Today update. Let's go to New York and JB.
Ian and Dan, we'll just say Denarius means money more, right?
Oh, I'll tell you what, Dan, you like throwing this guy deep. Denarius Moore, he's got speed for catching the ball, and this reverse takes it 23 yards. You couple in with McFadden, there is some speed in Oakland, my man.
Hey, Coach, we're going to throw this one back to the bird and the beard.
I like it.
JB and the coach, thank you very much. The Oakland Raiders may have something to say about this AFC West this year. Division rivals going head-to-head here with San Diego and Kansas City, and a 5-yard gain from Ryan Matthews.
Are you making T-shirts yet for the beard and the
Yeah,
bird?
we're working on it. Trying to get a trademark going.
I know, it's the beard and the bird, right?
Yeah. No, it's the other way. The
gotta
bird
be-
and
no,
the
it's
beard.
alphabetical,
No, the
pal.
play-by-play guy is first.
Not in San Diego, he's not.
That's true. All right, you got it. The beard and the bird it is.
They're not going to sell anywhere else.
It's true. I'll put a T-shirt right next to that Fouch 14 here.
nice
at Qualcomm. 2nd and 5. Shotgun formation. Rivers. Quick throw to Patrick Creighton and a first down. Creighton brought down to the 25, and Rivers put some zip on that ball to hook up with Creighton.
Yeah, it's the running attack that is setting it up because they're slowing down the pass rush of the Chiefs, allowing Rivers to get back in rhythm and let it fly. Clear vision over the top, right on the money to Creighton. Another big play on this drive for San Diego. 2 impressive drives for San Diego here in the second half. Their last one, and then this one starting out to be pretty good all the way to the 25.
And they've had the bigger plays offensively compared to Kansas City. First down from the 25. Under 10 minutes to play now in the 4th. Handoff. It's Tolbert. And Mike Tolbert, 5-yard gain. Javon Belcher dealing with the contact from Tolbert.
And the difference really in the two offenses is that San Diego is totally fearless throwing the ball anywhere on the field. They use the entire field in Norv Turner's offense. The Chiefs have been very satisfied with dumping it off to their backs most of the day. Castle has impressive numbers, 11 to 14, but for just 62 yards, whereas Rivers is thrown for 236 yards.
342 total yards here for San Diego, the league's #1 offense and #1 defense last season. McMichael goes in motion, flags are thrown.
We got Jeremy Clary jumping too soon.
That's 66 on the right side.
Ball start, number 66, offense. 5-yard penalty, still second down.
Coming up, time permitting, after the game, the Subway postgame show. JB and the rest of the crew in New York, the latest NFL scores and highlights. It's all coming up on the Subway postgame show. Just over 9 minutes remaining. San Diego 17, Kansas City 10. Chargers trying to move to 2-1. Chiefs looking for their first win of the season. Creighton the motion man. Rivers fakes the handoff. Rivers throws it out for Creighton, and Creighton gets hit from behind. We asked Rivers about Creighton. He said he reminds him a lot of Keenan McCardell. He just knows how to get open, has a knack for it. He's very comfortable working out of the slot and has really become a dependable target for Phillip Rivers, acquired last year.
He's in his 8th year. He has over 225 catches in his career, so he's a veteran that knows how to play the game and how valuable he has been in taking the place of Malcolm Floyd today.
He was acquired for a 7th-round draft pick from Dallas last season when San Diego recognized they had a need at wide receiver. This is now a 3rd and 8 for the Chargers. Rivers throws, and it's dropped by McMichael. Rivers put it where it had to be, and Randy McMichael, who has played very well here today, unable to secure it.
And McMichael's had 4 catches. He's working against Sabby Piscatelli here on the wheel route, trying to get away from him. Rivers puts it in a good spot for him. He had to reach for it a little bit. He'll be the first to tell you he should have caught that ball. Rivers had to get rid of it in a hurry, and again he takes a shot. You always like it when the defensive linemen hit you and then try to hold you up so that somebody else can hit you.
And now Nick Novak, 41-yard attempt to make this a 2-score game. Novak drills it to give San Diego a 20-10 lead with 8:03 to play. Fourth quarter. It's a 10-point lead for the Chargers. 8:03 remaining in this fourth quarter. 8-play, 48-yard drive. Novak converting on a 41-yard field goal. He'll now kick it off for San Diego with Javier Arenas, the deep man, 5 yards deep in the end zone as the ball came off the tee. First divisional game for these two teams. San Diego finished one game behind Kansas City last season in the AFC West. Now that recurring theme for the Chargers being slow starters, going back to the 07 season when they were 5-5, 4-8 in 08, 2-3 in 09, and 2-5 to start last year. And kicking it out of the end zone again, big leg from Novak. Kansas City will have it at the 20-yard line. The Chiefs have been able to lean on McCluster on their last drive. Will they look for him again coming up? Look at the Coronado Bridge. San Diego with a 20-10 lead, and I don't think that bird has to play a toll of any sort. Antonio Garay is back in there for the Chargers. Kansas City with a 1st and 10 at the 20. Bootleg. It's Castle on the move, and Castle throws it away. He threw it in the direction of Steve Breston. Vaughn Martin supplied the heat on Matt Castle. And coming up, time permitting, after the game, Subway postgame show, JB and company. NFL scores, highlights, all coming up on the Subway postgame show.
You wonder when Matt Castle's going to go back to Dwayne Bowe. Last time he targeted him, he caught 2 balls for 27 yards and the only touchdown of the afternoon for KC.
Bowe sets up by himself on the outside. Play clock winding down. Will Castle get it off? He will. Fake the handoff. Castle, plenty of time. And Castle too high. He was looking for Bowe. It'll be 3rd and long coming up. First, though, let's head to New York and check in with JB.
A familiar ring today, Rodgers to Finley.
Yeah, 3 times, JB. I'll tell you right now, it looks like Green Bay start to separate themselves as a class of the NFC. Jermichael Finley, 3rd touchdown of the day, 27-10 over Chicago.
In a big rivalry indeed. Back to Ian and Dan Fouts.
Is that the most balanced team in the league right now, the Green Bay Packers?
With Finley at tight end, they are awesome offensively. Rodgers, best in the league right now.
3rd and 10 for Castle and the Chiefs. Steps, throws, and he's got Bowe for a 1st down across the 40-yard line. That's a 21-yard pass play, and it quiets the crowd with 7:40 to go.
Good job by Bowe avoiding the bump on the outside right there from Kaysen. That allows him to get into the zone coverage of San Diego. One of the better passes of the afternoon by Matt Castle, but the Chiefs going back into the huddle, wasting precious time, trailing by 10.
3rd catch, 48 yards, a touchdown for Bowe. Thomas Jones is in there for Kansas City. Ball just across the 40-yard line. Rush coming, Castle, and had it knocked up in the air by Sean Phillips. And Travis LeBoy threw off the timing on the rush.
And I think LeBoy sped the pass attempt up a great deal. Heck of a job by Phillips on the other side, but watch LeBoy's pressure here as he gets in again, beating the block. This time it's the left guard coming over, Lilja. Very athletic play on the other side by Phillips.
2nd and 10. Castle is 12 of 18, 83 yards. Handoff, and Jones is stuffed at the line of scrimmage. Cam Thomas combining with Sean Phillips, and it sets up 3rd and long now for Todd Haley and the Chiefs.
Chiefs have improved on 3rd downs today. Still, it's a woeful 4 out of 11. But you got to figure if they don't get it, they will go for it on 4th down with time running down and down by 10. Trying to avoid an 0-3 start. Castle from the gun.
He's got the time and throws over the middle. It's complete to Bo into San Diego territory and hit at the 41-yard line.
Bo took a pretty good shot at the end of this catch. Again, it's a zone coverage by San Diego. You can see as he gets inside Kaysen, safety late coming over. Again, it's Gregory who puts the shoulder into the midsection of Dwayne Bowe.
Dwayne Bowe laid out. Seen a couple of tough hits from Steve Gregory here today. Getting the start for the injured Bob Sanders.
But you know, with the injury to Quentin Jammer, it's forced the Chargers to protect the rookie Marcus Gilchrist by playing more zone. And they've been burned twice on this drive with Bowe on deep crossing routes into empty zone areas.
Now, how important has Dwayne Bowe been to the Kansas City Chiefs since the start of last season? He has the highest percentage of a team's receiving yards in the NFL. Larry Fitzgerald, number 2 on that list. And that was part of the goal during the abbreviated offseason to try to get him some help. They draft Jonathan Baldwin. He's yet to play. Baldwin out with a thumb injury after getting into a fight with Thomas Jones, the veteran, back in training camp.
Yeah, it's amazing how these guys can hang on, concentrate on the ball, knowing they're going to get hit, and still have the concentration to give their bodies up and make the catch for the first down.
Bowe, Pro Bowler last year, and here are the numbers on Bowe with Fitzgerald 2, Roddy White 3rd in that category that we mentioned.
And 16 touchdowns
over that span, including the one earlier today. First down for Kansas City. Bowe on the sideline now. Breaston and Colbert, the receivers, fake the handoff. Castle gets rid of it, and it's complete. Breaston trying to make his way up the field, and a flag thrown at the 35-yard line, a 4-yard pickup.
This may be an illegal pick against the Chiefs.
Pass interference, number 45, offense. 10-yard penalty, still first down.
And it is the tight end, Leonard Pope.
His job is to get in the way of the pursuing defenders on this crossing route. Let's check him out. He's a tight end right over here. He's going to come down in the middle, Breaston the other way. And watch number 45 come here and make that little bump. That's a real questionable call on Leonard Pope.
But it sets up 1st and 20 now for Kansas City. And time is an issue. Castle throwing. Complete to Breaston underneath. And forced out of bounds out across the 45-yard line by Kaysen. It's a 7-yard gain.
You just wonder how badly injured Dwayne Bowe is. He's with Kerry Colbert in the game. Jonathan Baldwin and Jeremy Urban out with injuries.
You're not getting a sense of urgency here for Kansas City on offense either.
No, and the clock is rolling. They reset the chains and roll the clock.
They had some success earlier this half when they were working quickly and getting to the line of scrimmage quickly. This is 2nd and 13, and flag comes down.
Jared Gaither moved again.
Castle called a timeout. Which took place first?
The penalty.
Kansas City. Timeout.
That's a bad call.
Kansas City.
Gaither jumped long before Castle got the timeout called. Heads up by Castle to see him flinch a little bit. Here's Gaither right here. And watch as he will move. Boy, that's a horrible call. Now Castle's back was turned to Gaither.
The coach may have called the timeout from the sideline. If you're just judging off what we saw, clearly Gaither had moved before the Castle timeout. Now, I don't know if they granted the Haley timeout or not.
I always disagreed with the coaches being able to call a timeout. The players play the game. It's their responsibility to make those type of calls. But if Haley did make the call, it was a good move on his part.
Well, it looked like the line judge was sprinting in to try to alert that Haley wanted the timeout.
Haley saw the formation, didn't like what he had called, And that's why he called timeout. He didn't call timeout because Gaither moved.
And now Kansas City has just one timeout remaining. 2nd and 13. They've got 5:10 on the game clock, and they trail by 2 scores. Play fake. Castle throwing. Deep ball. And caught. It's Breston. Out of bounds, just shy of the goal line. Big play for the Chiefs. 43 yards.
Anton Kaysen never located the ball. Never turned back, running stride for stride, good coverage. Breston with great concentration. Does he get both feet in? Yes, he does. Huge play for Kansas City.
It's out of bounds inside the 1.
Now they're having personnel problems. Getting the right guys in. And Castle may have to burn their 3rd timeout.
Boy, that was very close to a touchdown, by the way. As Breston was leaning forward, the pylon was right there. And Kansas City forced to use the timeout. You take a look as he's going down. Bang, bang with the knee and the lean forward.
Yeah, this is a good call by the officials because when the knee hits down, he is not anywhere near the pylon. He rolls into it. It amazes me how the officials can make that call so quickly and so accurately.
So Kansas City is out of timeouts. They have a 1st and goal inside the 1 of San Diego.
But the question is, did Kaysen hit him, touch him when his knee was down or before, causing his knee to go down? Chiefs might want to question that,
well,
challenge it. They can't
now.
They got no timeouts.
Yep. If anything, Kaysen was holding on. 1st and goal. Castle a play fake. Rolls, throws, back in the end zone. Touchdown, Kansas City. Leonard Pope. And a flag comes down as Pope took off his helmet.
Now this penalty will be assessed on the ensuing kickoff, so that could have a
After
major
the touchdown,
effect.
unsportsmanlike conduct, 45 of the offense taking his helmet off. 15-yard penalty will be assessed on the kickoff. Touchdown.
That means the kickoff will come from the 20-yard line, giving San Diego a chance at good field position.
Well executed. Castle to Pope, 9 plays, 80 yards, and why? Why do you take the helmet off?
I think he had something in his eyes, and he was getting ready to. Yeah, he's bothered by something.
I don't know. I think the chin strap came off, and he just decided to take the whole helmet off.
Well, the whole world saw him,
including the officials. Suck up with the extra point to cut it to 3. High snap. It's handled by Colquitt. And San Diego now leading it 20-17 with 4:58 to play. You see how it shifted up, and Pope was uncomfortable, and he just continued to lift it up. So take a look where it is. The chin strap is up by his nose. And I think Pope's idea was that, hey, it's already half off.
No excuse. You know the rules. You got to just adjust your helmet the other way.
Yeah,
pull
push
the
it
chin
down.
down towards your chin where it belongs. But this is the important thing here now, where this kickoff will come for Kansas City and what type of return San Diego might get.
Well, Kansas City showing signs of life on offense, really for the first time this season.
Yeah, there's a couple big pass plays to Dwayne Bowe on the deep crossing routes against the San Diego zone. San Diego decides to go man-to-man, and Breston makes a marvelous catch over Kaysen down to the 1-inch line. But they've opened up the offense, that's for sure. A lot to build on. San Diego anticipating an onside kick here.
But Kansas City has no timeouts remaining. 4:58 to go in this 4th quarter.
Yeah, you really can't onside kick here with this 20-yard line.
No, they're going to kick it off. Suck up, returnable, Goodman from the 13. And Goodman with a head of steam, crossing the 30 and hit as he was headed out of bounds across the 30-yard line to the 33. We'll call it a 19-yard return. Phillip Rivers and the Chargers offense now facing some pressure. 4:52 to play. San Diego up by 3 with the football. 1st and 10 at the 33-yard line going against Romeo Crennel's defense.
And the thing about Norv Turner's offense is you never know. He's so unpredictable. He may come out with a play-action pass here and try to get the big play. Matthews is just 6 yards shy of 100.
This is a Kansas City defense that couldn't stop Ryan Fitzpatrick of Buffalo, couldn't stop Matthew Stafford of Detroit. Handoff, and it's Matthews running into a group at the 35 to pick up 3 yards. Well, the injuries for San Diego. Some of these had taken place over the course of the week. Gates and Sanders, injuries today to Jammer. Garay left the game, came back, and Césaire. Injuries piling up for the San Diego Chargers. Kansas City doesn't want to hear anything about that because the Chiefs have dealt with some serious blows. Charles, Moeaki, and Berry.
And they lost Brandon Flowers today as well,
along with John McGraw. 2nd and 7. McMichael stepping in for the injured Gates goes in motion. He's there to protect Rivers. That ball deflected and up for grabs, incomplete. Looked like Tyson Jackson got a piece of it on that defensive line as we head to New York. NFL Today update.
Coach, if you keep Cutler upright, this is what he can do.
Yeah, he's going to find Kellen Davis right down the middle here. You're going to see he throws a nice throw. Your question is too little, too late? But you can see some shabby tackling right there from Green Bay. 27-17, still a lot to go in the 4th quarter.
That it is, back to Ian and Dan.
And a huge play here, JB and Coach. 3rd and 7. Chargers are 7 of 12 on 3rd down today. Shotgun formation for Rivers. Play clock winding down. They handle the rush. Rivers on a dump off. Tolbert has got the 1st down into Kansas City territory, and extra yardage as he lowers the shoulder across the 45.
You know how the Chiefs got called for the illegal pick on Leonard Pope? San Diego runs a similar type of play. Watch from the side here. Creighton will come in, and Tolbert will run off his pick. Here comes Creighton right there. That allows Tolbert to get away from Piscatelli and down the field for a huge 21 yards and the 1st down.
Kansas City cannot stop the clock. All they have left is the 2-minute warning.
Again, a crossing route, very effective in the 2nd half for San Diego.
And it's Rivers calling a timeout with 3:11 to play. Chargers leading it 20-17 over the Chiefs. Another NFL Today update. Let's check in with JB and the coach in New York.
Coach, a lengthy Jets drive to draw closer.
Yeah, 93 yards, JB. You're going to see Plexico Burress. Sanchez finding him in the red zone. He's a big target. They're back within 7. The question is, can they stop McFadden in that offense at least one more time, get the ball back into Sanchez's hands?
5:33 left in regulation. Back to Ian and Dan.
For those of you expecting to see 60 Minutes, you're watching the NFL on CBS. The game between the Chargers and the Chiefs. Ian Eagle, Dan Fouts, the rest of our CBS crew. Chargers 20, Chiefs 17. 60 Minutes will be seen immediately after the game, except on the West Coast, where it will be seen at its normally scheduled time. 1st down for San Diego. On a handoff, it's Jacob Hester getting an opportunity up the middle, and not much there for Hester to work with, but clock is rolling, under 3 minutes left.
Yeah, we should just keep that 60 minutes stopwatch going, that tick, 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 tick thing. Because that's what the Chiefs are hearing right now, having to burn their timeouts. The last one, when they were 6 inches away from the goal line.
And Dan
couldn't get the personnel in.
It's pretty simple right now. San Diego gets a 1st down, game over.
San Diego has done well converting 3rd downs, 8 of 13. They came in with the league best.
2nd and 9. Keep it on the ground. And Matthews is hit shy of the 40-yard line by Tamba Hali. And the clock will roll down to 2 minutes. And San Diego will try to put this one on ice when we come back. Chargers at 1-1. The Chiefs 0-2 will come back with the finish here in San Diego in just a moment. Third and 8 for the San Diego Chargers. 2 minutes to play. Chargers leading by 3. A stop here for Kansas City. San Diego would be forced to punt, and Chiefs would get the football with about a minute 5, minute 10 left in the game. Do you chance it here and try to pass for a first down?
Oh, yeah. Look for Jackson right here.
Shotgun. Rivers. Patrick Creighton leaning forward. Boy, I don't think he got it. Javier Arenas with the tackle.
He's inches away if he didn't get it. And then your decision, do you go for it on fourth down?
The yellow line is not official, but just looking at it from the naked eye, he's short. And there's a minute 46 left, and they would face a 4th and a yard, and decision time for San Diego. They'll measure it. And it's short, less than a yard.
That's an eagle eye.
You punt it, you go for it.
You know, I would go for it, but I also might take a delay of game penalty and punt it. Pin the Chiefs back inside. But with this 4 or 5 inches to go, you got Mike Tolbert back there. You got Ryan Matthews back there. And also Rivers is capable of picking up with a sneak.
Well, either way, you got to use up the play clock because you want to take as much time off the clock as possible, no matter what the circumstance is here.
Remember, Turner had Rivers try to pull the Chiefs off sides earlier in the game, and it worked. That's another option for Norv Turner and Phillip Rivers.
So Kansas City only needs a field goal, so that's part of the decision-making process here. 4th and inches. Clock is rolling down to a minute 35 left. Rivers trying to force it in there. Boy, on that initial look, it didn't appear that he got it. And it all will come down to the spot now to see whether or not Kansas City has a chance in this football game.
And the Chiefs were just waiting for that sneak. They were right crowding the middle. They saw that that sneak was coming. And I don't think that I don't have an eagle eye like you do.
It's going the other way. Kansas City is taking over, and they did not use all of the clock that they could have. So instead, the Chiefs get it with a minute 26 to play.
Well, look at how they're crowding the middle here. They've got 4 guys, 1, 2, 3, 4, waiting for this sneak. Look at Belcher cheat up there. Demario Williams cheating up. Here comes the measurement.
No, didn't get it. What a turn here in San Diego as the Kansas City Chiefs will have an opportunity.
The other thing that Rivers didn't do is he didn't run the clock all the way down. We got 1:26 to go. And again, just waiting for a field goal to tie this one up.
They have all of that time to use, all 22 plus seconds, and they don't. So you're talking about a 20-second differential from what Kansas City should have had left. Now, they can review this up in the booth under 2 minutes to go, and I'm not sure how they can spot the football off of the replay.
Yeah, unless there's a hidden camera somewhere.
He's running into a crowd. Where are you going to spot it?
Yeah, and they're trying to get the Reggie Bush push here from Hester and Tolbert, but Tolbert's so late to the party, he doesn't really help out Rivers at all. How do you mark this one?
And the only reason you would snap it with that much time remaining is hoping that Kansas City just isn't thinking that you're going to snap it that quickly, surprise them, get the first down, game over.
You know, a hard count there might have drawn them offsides because
Maybe.
Kansas City was so anxious. They knew the sneak was coming. They had both linebackers foaming at the mouth for that sneak. And they really do foam at times.
You can speak from experience. Yeah, obviously, week in, week out, clock management, decisions from head coaches, such a big factor in who wins on these Sundays. This was a pretty quick look from Walt.
What could he possibly see? He's looking at the same pictures we are.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field stands.
So right now, Kansas City needs about 40 yards to try a 45-yard field goal. They have no timeouts left with 1:26 remaining on the clock.
And Dwayne Bowe back in the game for Kansas City. That's a good sign.
Ryan Succop, a career long of 53 yards. It's first down from the Kansas City 33. McCluster in the backfield. Castle throwing and hauled in by Pope. They get it all on one play across the 45, and here come the Chiefs.
And Pope kept his helmet on that time, made a great catch, bobbled the ball.
24 yards on the pass play. Castle throwing into a crowd, and it's intercepted. Picked off. Eric Weddle at the bottom of that pile for San Diego.
Well, San Diego, previous play just rushed 3. This time they brought the house, and Weddle playing man-to-man on the screen back. Dexter McCluster just read it perfectly. Watch the blitz coming right up the middle. Garay putting pressure on Castle, and there is Weddle in the screen. Castle never saw him. 32 right here. Was coming on a blitz, recognizes the screen. Here's Weddle. Here's McCluster. Weddle's coming on a blitz. He sees Lilja come out, says, oh, this must be a screen. Oh, hey, there's the ball. Unbelievable.
A brutal way to end it for Kansas City. They needed maybe 10, 12 yards for a legitimate field goal attempt to tie this game and possibly force it to overtime. Instead, Kansas City turns it over, and they will fall to 0-3 on the season, a team that surprised everybody by winning the AFC West last year at 10-6.
And Greg Minuski, defensive coordinator for the Chargers, was criticized for his game plan against Tom Brady last week because they didn't pressure him. Well, Minuski comes with the pressure that time. Weddle, with an outstanding recognition of the play, comes up with the play of the game.
San Diego squeaks by at home against the Kansas City Chiefs. 20-17 the final. Chargers with the win. Opportunity down the stretch for Kansas City. Matt Castle intercepted by Eric Weddle. And that ends it here in San Diego. Final score, Chargers 20, Chiefs 17. Tonight on CBS begins with 60 Minutes, followed by The Amazing Race, then The Good Wife, and CSI Miami. For Dan Fouts, the rest of our crew, this is Ian Eagle. So long from San Diego. You've been watching the NFL on CBS.